Thanks, Lily. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first virtual noon flow, sponsored by, I feel like I should be selling washing powder. Anyway, this is Erin at Misconduct Yoga in conjunction with Yoga Gypsy. And I'm going to bring you a noon flow. I hope everybody's doing okay. That's kind of a relative term. And let's start in a comfortable seated position and begin to connect with our breath. Now there's a lot going on out in the world, I get it. And I see we're all feeling these feels all the time. It's kind of like from one extreme to the other. So for the next 45 minutes, I would like to ask you to leave all that outside and just be present right here, right now on your mat. The best that you can, because that's all we can do, because we're all in the same boat, okay? So let's begin to get in touch with our breath. Ujjayi breathing, and all that means is nose breathing. Long inhales through the nose. I like to pause at the top and then exhale out the nose. Push it out. And that's all you need to do right now. Inhale through your nose. Pause. Push it out. And as you're beginning to do that, do a body scan. Soften your face. Maybe shut your eyes, kind of blink them soft. Or if you keep your eyes open, find a drishti, a spot that doesn't move, and just concentrate on that spot. Soften your jaw. That's where I hold a lot of tension. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Feels good. Find your sit bones, which is just a nice way of pull all that padding away and get really down to your bones, your butt bone. And as you begin breathing, and as you begin to deepen the breath and engage the abdominal muscles, big inhale to your chest, long exhale. And really, when you exhale, pull your belly button in and up. And then when you inhale, fill up your belly, fill up your chest, relax your shoulders, exhale through your chest, and your belly button in and up. And all we're doing is connecting with our breath and our body. That's it. It's that simple. And that's all we have to do for the next 45 minutes. Couple more breaths here in a comfortable seated position. And remember, at any time during your day, when you're all up in your headspace, you can always stop and come back to the breath. One more big breath in. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, lion's breath. And now come into child's pose. Take a wide leg child's pose, big toes to touch, knees wide. Let me scoot back here. Walk your hands down to the front of your mat. Stretch your shoulders, bring your forehead to the mat. Oh yeah, and snuggle your hips down. And breathe. You've been working from home, maybe fanning your fingers, popping your fingers. Just breathe. And in these stretches, in these LSD series, really engage your abdominal muscles for long exhales. Exhale them in and up. And it really helps the stretch deepen, and you're also doing core work as you're doing stretches. One more. On your next inhale, come up to tabletop. Stack your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips, and begin cat-cow with your breath. So inhale to cat-cow. Fill your belly, lift your head, lift your neck softly. And then as you exhale, round your spine, come up like a Halloween cat. And then just continue this movement with your breath. And feel free to take any movement that feels good. I like to twist my hands back toward my knees. Get that stretch here. Or maybe slowly, very slowly, kind of sit back onto your hip, onto your heels. Just whatever feels good. Take what you need in any pose. We're going to do about 4 more rounds of cat-cow. Looks like the sun's going to come out. Yay! Say thank you, sunshine. It just makes the day better. Two more rounds of cat-cow. Feels good to wake up your spine. And now come back to a flat back, to a neutral spine. Breath in. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, lion's breath. And you know, all you parents with kids at home, this is a fun thing to do. You know, they can all do lion's breath. And on your next inhale, come into bird dog on your right. So your right arm goes out in front of you and your left leg goes behind you. This is bird dog. This is fine. Breathe into your core. If you want to go a little deeper in the pose, you can always reach around and grab the top of your foot and take a bind. I like to, if I'm in a bind, I like to look down at my mat so that my neck isn't craned or arched. It's more neutral. Plus I can pull up with my foot a little bit, just a little bit. Just experiment and breathe. Belly breathing. One more. And then release the bind and come into tabletop. Breath in, breath out. If you have wrist issues, I've seen people do this. If that works for you, you can always come back to child's pose. Bird dog on your left. So inhale, your left arm out in front of you and your right leg behind you. Keeping in mind each side of your body's a little different. Take a couple of breaths here. Adjust if you need to. It feels better. If you feel like you're stretching, maybe adjust and make sure your wrist is under your hips or under your shoulders. And then grab a bind. See where you can take it on this side. And breathe. One more breath. Release the bind. Come back to tabletop. Excuse me. Whew. Spring is sprung. Inhale. And exhale. Now curl your toes and slowly inhale up to, oh yeah, down dog. And paddle your feet and wag your tail. And breathe. Utilize your breath to connect with how your body feels in each pose. It's not a destination, it's a journey. Breath in, breath out. Now slowly walk your hands back to your feet. Okay? Bend your knees. I like to snuggle my belly on my thighs. And forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Hold here and breathe. Just feel that flat, neutral spine. Exhale, fold. Engage your belly. Inhale, sweep up. Yes. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Ragdoll. Widen your stance. Bend your knees. Grab your elbows. And really let your head hang. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Sway side to side. And if this is too much, you can do this with your hands on the mat. Or, sometimes I like to reach around behind my knees and interlace my fingers. Give my shoulders a little stretch. And you can always use your scarf or your prop if you're not there yet. So, props are great. Breath in, breath out. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands to the top of the mat and come into high plank. And again, it helps. You can come to your knees, but if you want to get in full plank, make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders. And breathe into your core, belly breathing. Hold and breathe. One more. And then slowly come back to down dog. Breath in, breath out. Come into high plank. And again, come to your knees. Breath in, breath out, and then slowly lower down. Once you're on your belly, you can adjust, but bring your right arm to a T. We're going to stretch some shoulders. And you can pick what cheek you want on your mat, what side, and then roll to your right side body. Now, if this is where you want to be, this is good. My feet are kind of scissored. You can have one foot flat or both, or I like to utilize a block so that my head and my neck stay in alignment, and then I like to grab a bind. So wherever you want to go in this pose, just get there and breathe. And we'll be here for a couple breaths. Stay in your Ujjayi breathing. I do turn the heat up a little bit in the house. It's not as hot as the studio, but it is warm. It feels good. So you might try that. One more breath on this side. And then come back to center. Breath in. Breath out. Your left arm out to the side and roll to your left side body. And again, take what option you need in this pose. Maybe this side feels better like this. Maybe a half bind here. Just breathe. Doesn't it feel good to just stop and breathe? Two more breaths on this side, wherever you are. And then roll back to center. Remove whatever props you want to. And let's come into Sphinx pose. So bend at your forearms. Your elbows are bent. Keep your hand, I like my hands splayed out, my fingers out. Again, digging with, more gripping with my pads and my fingers instead of my palms. Just give them a stretch. Tops of my feet are flat on the mat. And then just neutral neck. Look out, find your drishti. Now if you want to amp this up a little bit, you're welcome to come up here. Cobra. Where do you need this back bend today? Right now at this moment, what do you need? And stay into the breath. One more breath in. One more breath out. And now push back to child's pose. And again, big toes to touch, knees wide. Walk your hands down in front of your mat. And plant your forehead. Now inhale your right arm up toward the ceiling. I like to come up and then thread the needle underneath my left armpit. Now if this is where this feels good to you, that's great. You can Experiment. Maybe have your palm up, palm down. I like to take a half bind here. And take about 3 long inhales and exhales here. 3 rounds of breath on this side. And now, wherever you are, come back to child's pose. Breath in. Breath out. And now inhale your left arm up toward the ceiling and thread the needle. Try to snuggle back onto your snuggle your heels back to your heels. I'll get it here in a minute. This feels really good on this side. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then come back to child's pose. Breath in, breath out, and come into high plank. Now look toward your thumbs, and I like to bend my knees, come up on your tiptoes, and then 1, 2, spring into Malasana squat. Oh, there went my knee. That can be fun. If you need a little wider, just kind of settle in here. And I like to take my elbows and push my knees wide. And I want you to take 3 long cleansing breaths here. Now if you need a block, use a block underneath. That's more helpful. But find your drishti or close your eyes and take some really long calming breaths here. Find some peace. Find some calm. One more round of breath. And then come down to your booty any way you can. It doesn't have to be pretty. And find your strap, your scarf, your tie, whatever it is that you have for a strap. And let's get flat on our mat. I like to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Then use your breath. And when you get here, just take a big breath and go, ah. and take a morning stretch. So inhale your arms up over your head, point your toes, big inhale, morning stretch. And bring your knees. Give yourself a hug. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock back and forth. Then bring your left leg flat on the mat and grab your strap or whatever you've got and loop it over the bottom of your right foot. Now from here you can do several things, but whatever you do, try to keep your arms straight so you get that stretch. If your strap is long enough, you could do a head hammock. Try to keep your left leg flat. And just breathe. Feel that stretch from your glutes all the way to your hamstrings. One more breath wherever you are. And now grab the strap with your right hand and take your right leg to the right. Now I've got a bolster. You can use a block or a bolster, but you want to get that inner rotation. So it's not always about getting your foot flat. It's about keeping your opposite hip onto the mat, shoulder onto the mat. So try a block or a bolster and see if that feels better. Your opposite arm is straight. And just breathe. One more breath on this side. Now, using your leg muscles, remember the strap is just a guide. Inhale your right leg back to center and switch hands. Take it into your left hand and then take your twist. I like my hips to be stacked on top of each other. That's why my twist is a little bit deeper. Oh yeah. And then look over my opposite shoulder. And breathe. It's all okay right now at this moment. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be right now. Now inhale, take your right leg back to center again, using your leg muscles, and release the strap. And bring your right knee into your chest and hug it down. Do some ankle rolls, roll your ankles to the left, roll them to the right. Fan your toes. And then replace your right leg flat on the mat. And we're going to do that same sequence on our left. So take your strap or your tie or whatever and loop it over the bottom of your left foot. And then take your stretch where you want it to go. One more breath in your stretch here. Wherever you are, and take the strap into your left hand. And then take your stretch. Take your leg to the left. Use your prop if you need to. There we go. That actually worked pretty good. So I'm going to move this over here. Because it works so well on the right, I think I'll use it on the left. Oh yeah. Then I get that inner rotation. Keep my arms straight. And look over my opposite shoulder. Feel your breath, fill up your belly, fill up your lungs, inhale the good stuff. Exhale anything that does not serve you right now. Now inhale your left leg back to center, using your leg muscles, and then switch hands. Take the strap into your right hand, and then take your twist. Stacking hips. Oh yeah. And each side feels different. Look over your opposite shoulder. Wow, the sun really is coming out. It's a pretty sky outside. I hope you're at a window or someplace where you can see outside. Or maybe you're outside and you're going to watch this later. Two more breaths on the left side. Inhale your left leg back to center. Remove the strap and squeeze your left knee into your chest. Do some ankle rolls. Roll to the left. Oh yeah. Roll to the right. Fan your toes. Now bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze them down. And begin to rock and roll the length of your mat. Do it a couple of times. And then come into down dog. However you can get there. Breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Again, breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Inhale your left leg, your right leg high in the sky, and bring it through for half pigeon. You can do this on your back or against the wall. If if you need a block or a bolster. You're welcome to use a block underneath your opposite hip. You don't want too much air there. Once you're here, once you're comfortable, take an inhale and then exhale, fold. If this is too much, you can come into deer pose as well, where you bend your back leg, your left leg. Three more breaths. Snuggle in. Check in. Do a little body scan here. Are you still holding tension? Where could you utilize your breath? Two more breaths here on this side. Plant your hands on the mat underneath your shoulders. Come up slowly and bring your left leg around for cow face. However you can do it. This is a real good hip opener. Now, if you can, inhale and bow forward. I like to hold, this is about as far as I can get, but I like to hold on to my ankle so I can twist a little deeper. But wherever you are, just breathe. Now unwind wherever you are. Roll back on your mat. Do some rocks and rolls. And come up to down dog. Breath in. Breath out. Half pigeon on your left side. Find your calm, find your comfort. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Two more breaths on this side. And slowly come up out of the pose. Bring your right leg around for cow face. And remember, each side is going to be different. Maybe it feels better on this side. I don't know. But wherever you get to, take a couple breaths. Maybe try folding forward. Lead with your chest. And then unwind and roll back. Flat on your back. Come into supine butterfly. Soles of the feet together. Knees wide. And let go. Connect with your mat. Feel your shoulders. Feel your spine. Feel your hips. Just feel the connection to your mat. And if you want to get a little more grounded, place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And just connect with you. Feel your breath. Feel your hand on your belly. Feel your hand on your chest. Your shoulders on the mat. The soles of your feet touching. Feel the breath and the energy flowing through. Flowing through your body. Everything is just as it should be right now, at this moment. Now you're welcome to stay here for Shavasana if this feels good. If not, you can use a bolster underneath your knees, lay flat on your back. I like to splay my feet out and my palms up. Come back to a normal breath. And be open to receiving right now at this moment. And do a little body scan one more time here. See where you might be holding tension. Maybe you're loose as a noodle. That's cool. That's good. That's a good place to be. Maybe you're somewhere in between. Just be wherever you're supposed to be at this moment. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring slight movement back into your body. Take a big stretch. Arms up over your head. Point your toes, stretch long, take a big inhale. That first morning stretch. And then roll to your side body. Whatever side you want to roll on today. Maybe you want to roll on the side where you face the window and you can see outside. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. Thank your body for taking you through the practice. Come up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed. Inhale your arms up over your head. Hands to heart center. And let's take a cleansing breath here. Big inhale. Now open your mouth. Let it go. Make some noise. Roar. Thank you for joining me today, yogis. Now, get out and enjoy the sun. Namaste. That's it. I always want to give props to Tiger Lily, my production manager and director, for all her help.